many people will wonder, how did the PDP, once Nigeria's dominant political force, descend to this level? Was this, and I'd like to ask, was this breakdown inevitable given that the party's history of power rotation disputes, or it's simply a failure of leadership to enforce discipline?
Well, it is not merely only the failure of leadership. It is also the coming into force some meddlesome interlopers who believe that they own the party, and they arrogate to themselves the power to do whatever they want to do within the party. And so if you insist not to follow the rules as laid down by the party, then naturally the party will descend. Now, let me give an example to buttress my point. Now, it is within the PDP constitution that if a person is a member of the National Working Committee or a state executive committee, and is going to contest for an election elsewhere, he has to resign. He has to resign. He has to give 30 days notice, perhaps, in which case, or 3 months notice, in the case of somebody who is not a member of the executive committee. And then you have to resign before you go and contest. Here we had somebody who is the national secretary of the party, who refused to resign, went and contested for governorship, lost, and returned, and said he's still the secretary. So these are some of the things that are making supporters believe that there is lawlessness in the party. Otherwise, if this has been enforced, there will have been nobody who would now have seen himself as somebody who can say, okay, the party cannot move without me.
But I think events have long overtaken that, because the case went to the courts and the court ruled that Anyanwu is the national secretary, which means that convention or that party guideline does not suffice because the court ruled in his favor. My question now is that you believe in...
I want to correct you.
Okay.
The judgment did not say that Anyanwu is the national secretary. There is nowhere in the judgment. It only says that the person who brought the case before the court is a meddlesome interloper, that he is not supposed to be the one to bring the matter because it does not affect him directly. It is SKE Okoye who was looking for this, but he was not the one who brought the matter before the court.
So, but technically, Anyanwu remains the national secretary.
Yes, okay, but the court didn't make that pronouncement.
Okay.
But on that matter, still, the court said such a matter is not justiciable. It's an internal party matter.
Okay, let's move forward. The other issue is the conspiracy of silence, because some people say that some of you who now speak of, for the party, where were you when the situation started in Rivers State, when some persons defected from the party and the party leadership did not make the move to confirm that defection? And now you're now making statements for the party. Was it that you also were in support of what was playing out at that time? Because that was like the root cause of the crisis in PDP. You kept quiet then, but now you're speaking. How will you react to that?
How can you draw such a conclusion? Have you been following my activities? How do you know that I have not spoken? I have been the most vocal person within the party. And let me tell you, I will advise you to follow me on my X handle. I'm not advertising my X handle, but I will advise you. This is the same thing somebody asked me. When I asked him to go to my X handle, he was ashamed. He couldn't continue further. So such an allegation is very weighty, and you don't judge somebody merely because I have been speaking and I have been very vocal and I have been against injustice within the party.
Well, the PDP's upcoming convention remains mired in court challenges. This raises fears it could make or mar the party's survival. Why has personal ambition repeatedly outweighed collective interest in the PDP?
Well, you see, in terms of a political party is made by collection of interest, and this collection of interest generates into the collective direction of the party. Now, if some interests decide to merge, to say, okay, this is our own interest, the interest of the party, that defines the interest of the party. And if it defines the interest of the party, the interest of the party means that the party at all times should be seen to be pursuing the party's agenda and manifesto and abide by the constitution of the party. Now, if you say personal interest supersedes, there is no way that personal interest cannot come into party activities. But then, what does the law say? That is where the constitution of the party or the guidelines for an election come into play. They now give direction.
Okay, ahead of the national convention of your party, what character of individual do you expect that will emerge as leaders of your party going forward? What are the conditions you are looking at? That, okay, these are the type of, whether it is consensus, whether it is a true election, that we hope to have this caliber of individuals that will lead our party into the 2027 election.
Well, we want individuals who will look at the party, who will look at the interest of the party, those who we believe will be able to give party the needed direction so that we can be a very vibrant opposition, and give the ruling party the needed push, and perhaps maybe even be able to wrestle power from the ruling party. And they should be people who are strong-willed, humble, and have the interest of, the generality of the party at heart. Now, if we have such type of people who will not look at somebody's interest and be pursuing that type of personal interest above the general interest of the party, then we will have a strong, united, and vibrant party.